a long time. I don't do all the antics and shit. I don't got a celebrity girlfriend.
Bitch, I'm savage.
Oh, yeah.
I was savage. I was a savage.
You struck a compelling balance between shade and sympathy, especially toward Latto. That gives the piece depth. That's not just gossip. It's a commentary on power, image, and emotional vulnerability in the digital age. Lines like that, silence, once her power, had become her prison. And she didn't go out swinging. She went out with a whisper. ... are pure poetry. Devastating and beautifully written. Welcome back to Star Hush, where the hottest tea simmers just beneath the surface. And this one, it's boiling over. Word on the street is that rapper Latto might be lying low for real, with whispers swirling that she crossed a line, trying to trap 21 Savage with a baby, all while his wife Kiana was watching from the shadows. According to the rumor mill, Latto wasn't playing subtle. She flaunted private vacations, dropped coded lyrics, and even tattooed 21's real name behind her ear like a crown. But here's the kicker: Kiana, famously private and unbothered, wasn't having it. One behind-the-scenes move later, and Latto's suddenly ghosting the spotlight, canceling shows, and possibly ducking some serious heat. But rewind, this drama didn't just pop up overnight. 21 Savage has quietly been married for years, though most fans either didn't know or barely paid attention. Kiana, she's been silent, steering clear of the social circus. Then Latto entered, loud, bold, and unapologetic, throwing shade at Kiana in music and acting like 21 was already hers. But the tables turned fast. While Latto was busy flexing like a queen in waiting, 21 Savage flipped the narrative, going public on Clubhouse and live streams to declare his love and loyalty for Kiana, making it crystal clear he's married, happy, and committed. Latto, he acted like she never existed. Suddenly, that tattoo, those trips, and all the cryptic captions started to look painfully one-sided. And yet, Latto didn't slow down, still tossing digital jabs, showing off gifts, and holding on to that main chick energy. But the internet saw through it, and they didn't hold back, labeling her the year's most heartbreakingly loyal side chick. Now, with the spotlight dimming and the triangle unraveling, Latto's left in the middle of a mess she may not be able to escape from. People weren't just side-eyeing Latto, they were outright saying she humiliated herself chasing a man who never once publicly claimed her. But just when you thought it couldn't get more chaotic, things took a sharper turn. Word on the street is, once Latto finally accepted that 21 Savage wasn't leaving his wife, Kiana, she allegedly tried to up the stakes with a plan that could only be described as desperate, a baby trap. Sources say she began bragging within her circle about intentionally getting pregnant to secure her place in his life, figuring once a child was involved, 21 would have no choice but to go public and cut ties with Kiana. But instead of cementing her spot, the whole plan unraveled fast and ugly, because not only did 21 not leave Kiana, he reportedly got another woman pregnant entirely. A different side chick, not Latto. And when she found out, she unraveled. After all those secret vacations, matching outfits, sly digs at Kiana, and even a tattoo of his government name, being iced out like that hit hard. Rumors say things reached a breaking point when Latto showed up at a video shoot at Magic City and came face to face with the pregnant woman. That's when she allegedly snapped, trying to have the girl set up, even knowing she was carrying 21's child. But Latto wasn't ready for the real twist. Kiana had been watching, staying silent, moving smart. While Latto stirred the pot and played loud, Kiana kept her cool and waited. Then suddenly, Latto vanished from the scene. Shows cancelled. Public appearances scrubbed. She went radio silent. And word is, all it took was one call from Kiana to put the pressure on. Insiders whispered that people close to Kiana were ready to move, and Latto felt it fast. The same woman who was throwing lyrical jabs and flaunting her status was suddenly laying low, like she knew something dangerous was brewing. Kiana isn't flashy, but she's connected, and Latto just might have learned that the hard way. But here's the kicker. The drama didn't stay behind closed doors. It accidentally spilled into public view when a petty TikTok beef between Latto's Lash Tech and another girl exploded online. Latto jumped in emotionally, and in trying to defend herself, she ended up revealing way more than she intended. What seemed like a harmless internet scrap turned out to be the unintentional confession that confirmed the whispers weren't just rumors, they were real. Latto's silent downfall. How one TikTok clapback exposed everything just when fans thought the chaos surrounding Latto and 21 Savage couldn't possibly get messier. The rap star accidentally lit the fuse that set everything ablaze. What started as a typical TikTok spat spiraled into something much deeper, something raw, revealing, and, ultimately, reputationally devastating. In a now viral clip, Latto fired back at a shady comment like she's done 100 times before. But this time, her response wasn't just defensive, it was damning. With one unfiltered line, she cracked the veil that had barely held this scandal together. Last piece spoke of my man on TikTok got whooped outside the club in the A. A simple sentence. But for fans, insiders, and anyone following the tangled web of drama between Latto, 21 Savage, his longtime partner, Kiana, and the mystery woman allegedly pregnant with his child, that was the smoking gun. For months, whispers had swirled about an altercation outside Magic City, a famed strip club in Atlanta where a woman, reportedly tied to 21 Savage, had been jumped. There were unconfirmed rumors of jealousy, betrayal, even a baby. But until that moment, it was all speculation. Latto's slip wasn't just a passive comment. It was a confession, raw and emotionally unguarded. She didn't deny the rumors. She didn't pivot or play it smart. Instead, she doubled down and unintentionally confirmed what many had only guessed. There was a fight. It was about a man. And that man, all signs point to 21 Savage. Suddenly, the puzzle pieces fell into place. The alleged triangle or square. For years, fans speculated about the real dynamic between Latto and 21 Savage. While the two never publicly confirmed their relationship, subliminals were exchanged in songs, captions, interviews, even private jet photos. Latto, known for her confidence and no-nonsense demeanor, made it clear through actions, if not words, that she was not just another name in his DMs, but behind the scenes, a different story was playing out. 21 Savage was reportedly still tied to Kiana, the mother of his children and longtime Anandoff partner. Despite the public's fascination with Latto, 21 kept Kiana as his anchor, rarely acknowledging Latto directly. Then came the whispers. Word spread that Latto had tried to trap 21 with a baby, allegedly, hoping a child would solidify their bond and make their relationship undeniable. But according to insiders, 21 caught wind of the attempt and distanced himself. While Latto was plotting a future, 21 was already moving on to someone new. That someone turned out to be a woman who reportedly ended up pregnant shortly after. Latto's alleged plan fell through. This was the real trigger. Not Kiana, not the fans, not the music, this other woman was the spark that ignited Latto's rage. And when news broke that this woman had been jumped outside Magic City, all eyes turned to Latto. Latto denied involvement, at least publicly, but her silence in the weeks following the altercation raised eyebrows. There were no cryptic tweets, no sarcastic bars in unreleased freestyles, just quiet. A silence that didn't feel strategic, it felt scared. And now we know why. Her TikTok clapback gave the entire game away. A public confession in a private war. Latto's outburst was more than an impulsive rant. It was the first time she addressed the rumors with emotional honesty, albeit indirectly. By referencing the girl who spoke of her man and got jumped outside the club, she effectively admitted there was a woman, there was a confrontation, and it was over 21 Savage. She confirmed everything fans had theorized but also unveiled the chaos behind her cool image. This wasn't a calculated PR move. It was a breakdown in real time. The polished rapper, known for hits and headline-grabbing fashion, was suddenly speaking like someone cornered, wounded, and raw. And the internet, as always, was watching with popcorn in hand. The fallout. 21 moves on. Latto left in the cold. If Latto thought her TikTok revelation would make 21 step in or even acknowledge her, she was wrong. Dead wrong. Sources close to 21 say he's been completely ghost on Latto. No texts, no calls. He's allegedly unfollowed her on socials, wiped all signs of their link from his accounts, and told mutual friends he's done for good. One insider bluntly put it, he wiped her like she never existed. Fans noticed the change almost immediately. Gone were the flirtatious emojis, the secretive Instagram stories, the low-key shoutouts and lyrics. Latto was left in silence, not the healing kind, but the kind that screams abandonment. Kiana's revenge. The real power player. While Latto floundered publicly, Kiana moved like a shadow, quiet, deliberate, dangerous. Insiders claim she's been collecting receipts for months, DMs, texts, possibly even voice memos and surveillance footage from the club altercation. Some say she's compiling everything into a master folder. And it's not for court, it's for leverage. She's waiting for the right time, one source said. And when she moves, it's going to shake the whole game. Kiana, long painted as the silent, suffering partner, is finally reclaiming power, and in doing so, she's reportedly working behind the scenes to ensure Latto's downfall isn't just digital, it's decisive. Latto's image, a brand in crisis for someone who built her name on confidence and control. This unraveling couldn't come at a worse time. Her brand was peaking festival headlining spots, Billboard chart success, endorsement deals. But now, it's all on the brink. Latto hasn't dropped new music in weeks. Her usual Twitter activity has vanished. No IG lives, no collaborations, no viral verses, just nothing. Fans are.
Time. I don't do all the antics and shit. I don't got a celebrity girlfriend. I'm not finna be out everywhere. I'm not dropping music every other week. I'm not going.
But somewhere along the way, the lyrics and the lifestyle diverged. This time she chased and lost, not just the man but the mystique that made her untouchable. The minute she confirmed the club incident on TikTok, that carefully constructed image began to crack. She didn't look like the unbothered queen anymore. She looked like someone hurting someone, unraveling in real time. And in today's digital era, where perception is reality, that slip was all it took for the narrative to shift. The man in question, 21 Savage, didn't come to her defense. He didn't validate her pain, didn't offer even the courtesy of acknowledgement. No public statement. No cryptic lyric. No supportive gesture, subtle or overt, nothing. Instead, he vanished from her orbit without so much as a word. For someone who had been so closely tethered to Latto, if not in public declaration, then in carefully curated hints, mutual subliminals, and behind-the-scenes whispers, his disappearance wasn't just a cold shoulder. It was a cold erasure. 1 minute, he was the silent presence behind her, or the man she never named, but always hinted at. The next, he wiped her off the map. Social media mentions scrubbed, any trace of their connection dissolved like it never happened. And that silence, it was deafening, not just to Latto but to everyone watching. In an industry where relationships, real or performative, are often used to boost relevance, build hype, or create emotional depth, 21 Savage's refusal to acknowledge Latto in any capacity spoke louder than words ever could. It didn't just hint at a breakup. It broadcasted a complete dismissal. It told the world she meant nothing to fans who had followed their unspoken situationship with near-obsessive dedication. The sudden disconnection was jarring. Where once there had been subtle support matching, IG stories, coordinated vacations, birthday clues, there was now an eerie absence. No birthday wishes. No protective tweets. No vague lyrics defending her name. Nothing. And in that nothingness, the implication was clear. 21 was done. Not just with the relationship, but with the idea of Latto. To the public eye, he didn't just leave her, he deleted her. For Latto, an artist who had built so much of her recent public image on the allure of being the woman who had him, even if quietly, that kind of abandonment hit harder than any diss track ever could. It was a full collapse of the narrative she'd leaned into. The power woman who had secured loyalty from one of hip-hop's most enigmatic names, without needing to beg, post, or proclaim. She never needed validation because the energy spoke for itself, until it didn't. Because now, the silence was speaking something else. It was speaking of a man who no longer claimed her. A man who moved on without looking back. A man who had, allegedly, fathered a child with another woman while she was still trying to anchor him to her world. And while Latto's fans begged for clarity, hoping she'd post a lyric, a caption, anything, she offered only quiet. A haunting quiet. The kind that doesn't come from healing. The kind that comes from humiliation. From being left to pick up emotional debris in private, while the public watches and speculates in real time. That silence, once her power, had become her prison. For months Latto had communicated in codes. She didn't need names or details, her confidence was the language. Her music was the story. She threw shade with style, flexed without effort, and let the speculation keep her trending. But now, she had no story to tell. Because the plot had turned against her. Worse, she had no co-star, 21 Savage, who could have offered a simple gesture of solidarity, even just a cryptic bar acknowledging the chaos, Joe's distance over defense. Not even denial, just detachment. Which, in the world of celebrity perception, is far more damning. Denial at least acknowledges you existed. Indifference is emotional extinction. The pain of that kind of dismissal isn't just personal, it's public. Because in the rap game, where your brand is built on perception, cosigns, and control. Being abandoned mid-scandal can be career-wounding. It changes the narrative. It takes the woman who looked like the one calling the shots and repositions her as the one who got played. And now, 21 Savage's silence is being echoed by the industry itself. The same peers who once hyped her in comments have gone quiet. Collaborators who once shared stages and streaming numbers are nowhere to be seen. The brand endorsements, the social media buzz, it's all simmered down. Latto, the woman who once radiated power and poise, is left in a void. And what makes it more tragic? She didn't go out swinging. She didn't fire back with a diss record or reclaim her narrative with a bold interview. She went out with a whisper, a slip on TikTok, an emotional outburst that confirmed every rumor she spent months avoiding. Now, she's not just silenced, she's isolated. Because, in the eyes of the industry, nothing is more fatal than vulnerability without control. She didn't own the story. She didn't frame the narrative. She got caught in the mess. And worse, she got left in it alone. 21 Savage didn't destroy her with a song or a scandal. He destroyed her with silence. And in this world, that might be the coldest cut of all. And while she once flexed in silence, letting speculation fuel her mystery, now her silence screams a different message: shame, regret, maybe even defeat. No more playful shade on Twitter. No more subtle brags in verses. No new music, no engagement, just digital absence. The kind that feels less like a break and more like a breakdown. Her fans, once rallying behind her with every subliminal post, are now left wondering, where is she? Why isn't she clapping back? Why isn't she reclaiming her crown? Because this time, the game hit too close. It wasn't a petty feud or industry beef, it was personal, emotional, and the loss wasn't just public, it was private. Latto didn't just lose a romantic interest. She lost the leverage, the illusion of control, the power she held in the dynamic. She became, for a moment, everything she once swore she'd never be: vulnerable, played, and left behind. And maybe, worst of all, she knows it. There's a silence that empowers, that grounds and protects. Then there's the silence that follows chaos, the kind that settles when you're licking wounds behind closed doors. Unsure how to rise again, Latto, it seems, is in the latter. Not plotting, not powering up, just existing in the aftermath of her own storm. And unless she finds a way to flip the narrative soon, that silence may become her longest verse yet. And somewhere in Atlanta, in a quiet house with drawn blinds, Kiana is waiting. With receipts, with patience, with vengeance. Because in this game, it's not about who speaks the loudest, it's about who moves the smartest. And right now, Latto is out of moves at this point. It's hard to even blame Kiana if she really did decide to handle business the way the rumors suggest. If Latto was out here playing bold, throwing subliminal shots, and allegedly laying hands on someone tied to Kiana's marriage, then a cold, calculated response almost feels earned. This wasn't your typical side chick, slip-up. Latto was out here trying to upgrade her position through chaos. Allegedly, she even tried the age-old baby trap tactic, thinking a child would lock 21 Savage in for good. But what she clearly didn't count on was that Kiana had already positioned herself several steps ahead. While Latto was chasing clout and posting cryptic captions, Kiana was helping 21 navigate real problems, the kind that don't trend on Twitter but make or break your entire future. We're talking about immigration struggles, courtrooms, and green card deadlines. And here's the kicker: Kiana didn't just step in to help out of love. According to whispers from the inside, she gave him a choice: clean up the mess or risk everything. No more secret link-ups with Latto, no more public embarrassment, and no more jeopardizing the one person who was holding his legal life together. And just like that, the switch flipped. Once his paperwork went through, Latto was wiped clean and followed, ghosted, deleted like she never happened. Now she's out here with no man, no buzz, and no clear move left to play. But the internet isn't done speculating. Some say Latto's not just laying low because she's ashamed. There's a whole other theory floating around, that she might actually be pregnant and waiting for the right moment to pop back out and turn the story upside down. Others, though, they think she already emptied the clip and Kiana checkmated her from the very start, quietly, confidently, and without ever breaking a sweat. So the real question is, did Latto gamble her future trying to trap a man who never even claimed her, or has Kiana been playing silent revenge chess from day one? Let us know whose side you're on, Team Kiana or Team Latto. If you've been riding through every twist and turn of this wild story, You already know the tea's too hot not to share, so send this to someone who's been keeping tabs. Until next time, my stars and hushers, stay sharp, stay curious, and never trust the quiet ones.